Hey guys, good morning. It is coffee with Cathy time, Friday morning, 8:13 Eastern. How's everyone going today? Or doing today? Is that how do I explain this? Let's see. So, Friday, it's been a long week, right? I have been doing okay. I got a fair amount of work done this week, more than I had in the past several weeks. So I'm excited about that. We finished up our cleanup course this week, so that's been good. Still answering questions in that Facebook group, just to help everyone finish up and feel comfortable with where they are on things. So that's been good. QBOchat yesterday, we did recent updates to QBO, and that for the past 3 months. So I actually even keep a log on QBOchat.com. Let me see if I can get the link. QBOchat.com. On the main menu, there is QBO updates as an item. And that's where I keep in chronological order all the updates that QBO does with the links to all the articles into its blog posts and stuff about them. So it's a great way to keep up with things if you aren't able to join the chats and stuff. So, but we also have the transcript up, I believe, on the website from yesterday's tweet chat. So you can see that transcript. There's been some cool updates to QBO the past 3 months, but nothing crazy, oh my god, life-changing world thing. There's some really cool things, but nothing really that you just are going to die without knowing about. But yeah, you should definitely take a look at the site or the transcript to see some of the recent updates to QBO. Coffee with Cathy. Let's see. What else do we have going on? I think we've had some good discussions in the group this week. Trying to look at the feed of things. So, hi, good morning, Susan. How has your week been? Let me see if I can go to group insights and see. Growth, let's see, engagement. Let's see. Some of the biggest things, most activity the past, I think they give me 28 days. Most activity on post are Lynn Hoffman talking about having a client that has a year worth of bank statements that have to manually be entered, and what would you charge? So then how do you, America said something, asked about recording expense, mileage expense in QBO. I mentioned MileIQ for that. So Susan, my Wells Fargo started working Wednesday. So if yours isn't, take a look, try to update it again. I don't know. Man, I know it's hard. So talking about the bank feeds again. So it was an update within June. So let me get the June thing and put a link into our little So I have the phone looking at me, and I'm doing my computer right behind it. So let's see if I can make this work. Great. Here we go. Comment. So this is the June updates, and in there they talked about direct bank feeds. And what they're trying to do is get better integrated with the banks to get a better connection for us with cut down on feed interruptions, connection errors, and missing or duplicate transactions. So now in my mind, morning has broken with nice brewed coffee. There you go. Yay. But in my mind, I didn't have an issue with bank feeds, but that doesn't mean that they were perfect before. And the developers at Intuit didn't have better things in mind that we could do with them and a better direction that they can go with them. So they have been working with the banks to create better connections and everything. But yeah, that's resulted in, again, don't quote me on this. This is my assumption. Because I saw this come out in June, I know what they're working on. I know, they released that they're working on that. And knowing that so many of us have had issues with bank feeds, I think they're working through those banks and trying to get those connections better. We've also been seeing those emails of now it's time to update your bank feed for Bank of America or something like that. I've been reluctant to do anything, change anything, just because I don't want to be stuck in the area where they're working out any glitches. I'm like, keep me over here for a little bit longer. I'm fine with that. I don't need to deal with a whole bunch of other craziness. So that's what I've been doing on things. So I swear, my gut is saying that bank feeds are going to be back to normal within a month or two. I know that's a really long time, but I feel like they know what they're doing and they're going in a direction. I'm not sure where, but I know in the end, maybe a year from now, it'll be better. Our world will have changed somehow so that it would have made sense. But yeah, right now it can be annoying. I know. And I'm with my clients, it all depends on your relationship with the client, right? And what you're doing for the client. My clients, I do bank feeds once a week for them. So I go into QBO, do all their bank feeds and everything. Now, the client that I have on Wells Fargo, they don't have a whole bunch of activity. So, so it's been fine. I was able to skip a week because I was like, okay, it's not that far off. They don't have a bunch. I, can handle it. So it hasn't impacted me a lot. Now, if it was one of the bigger clients or something, yeah, that would be a total pain. But then I would be saying, hey, give me access to your Wells Fargo account. I need to pull the .QBO file every week to import it into QBO so I can get those transactions and everything. So, because I'm not manually entering anything. I will manually pull a .QBO file to get me the transactions. That's as far as I'm going to go. And if they're not able to give me access to the bank or anything like that, they're just going to have to wait. It's just going to have to wait. So, that's the way things are for me. So, has anything else going on this week? And yes, coffee is good. I'm trying to think. So next week tomorrow's the 15th. So I don't know how many of you guys do month end, kind of do this week or next week-ish. Just how the calendar lands and how you are on things. So that'll be getting through all of that. I've gotten through half of mine, but I have one big one that I'm still working on. So there's that. Yeah, I'm thinking that through in my head already. I need some progress I need to make today. So fun times. But the week after that, my next month-end master course is starting, and I like to time that course with month-end. So I'm actually teaching everything a week before it happens. So that's why I start the course the week before, or the last week of the month, so that we get prepped and ready and planning done and stuff like that, so that you can get into the month and, go through those tasks. So that's what we do with that month-end master course, which is fun, right? But yeah, here, you want me guys to share that link too? I'll just share the link to the training page and you can see all the courses. So I have 4 courses that I offer right now. You do have to go into each one to see like the next time frames there are on stuff. I'm still working on other stuff behind the scenes and hoping to get you to some other kind of trainings so that it's not just this master course set up so that you can, learn on your own and that sort of stuff. But we're getting there, one person at a time right now. And that's me. I'm doing most of it, so that's what happens. And me being out because of my neck and back and everything has, definitely slowed me down on things, but that's life, right? I'm kind of, I was trying to push that class into my schedule, and I'm kind of happy that it didn't work out because I think I needed the rest and the lack of stress from it. Like, I love doing them, but it's still prep. I want to make it perfect. I want to do all that stuff. So I was able to give myself a couple weeks of handling it, working on my back stuff. So I have an MRI next Friday, and we'll see what comes of it. But fun times. So I don't know. Just seeing what all you guys are up to. I felt like chatting this morning before I start working on everything. Let me look at my task list. So one thing I've been thinking about, and you guys tell me, is kind of like managing your practice and managing what you do. So I've gone through, over the 9 years of being in practice, I've gone through maybe a zillion different project management systems. And I feel like the hardest concept for me was, okay, how do I create a system that works for an accounting practice and then apply that to the software that I'm using, right? And it's a matter of, there are some that are really, really geared towards accountants, like Carbon and Arrow. But for me, it was also trying to understand, okay, how do I manage my projects, manage my workload? How do I want to segment that and think about that when I work on things? And it was that realization over time that got me to the point of where I am now, and I'm comfortable in a project management system. Usually I was relying on those systems to teach me that stuff. And that was kind of backwards thinking. Like, you can't necessarily, like, you don't use QBO to teach you how to do accounting, like, you kind of need to know accounting, and then you need to learn the technology to fit in how all that works. So that was the same thing here of how do I use, how do I do stuff in my practice and then apply that into a project management system. And I would say if you're starting out, it might be a really good idea to map that sort of stuff out in Excel, especially because you're smaller, you have less stuff that you're managing and whatever. So you can be more flexible on how you want to see things and how you want to manage stuff. And then from there, you get an idea of like, okay, here's how this should work, right? Here's how I want my workflow to work. And then you can develop that into a project management system. And, when you're looking at different systems, you can say, okay, I want it to be able to do X, Y, Z, because that's my workflow, then, you know, that'll help out a lot. So, I think it's been hard. It's taken me a long time to get to a place where I'm comfortable, and I use Insightly in it. And I'm not going to say that that's the best solution for anyone. I think it's more the fact of how I do stuff within Insightly. So how I manage my practice, my workload, and stuff. And I've done it where I have staff, and I'm reviewing their work, and right now I'm just doing it as me. So I've seen it both ways, and it's worked both ways. So, but that's something I feel like has come up a lot recently, and I wonder if it's something that I need to do some sort of tutorial class, something about it. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that sort of thing. So fun times. I see you guys are watching, but no one's saying anything. You're just watching me ramble. So put any comments or anything. Give me something to talk about. Yeah, so looking at my today. So I need to finish up some month ends. So I have like my overdue tasks. I was really excited yesterday. I was able to pull that overdue tasks down a ton. There's some things I'm just avoiding in here, like admin stuff on my end. I just don't want to deal with because I just want easy. I just want easy because my back hurts. I just want it to work. I just want to be able to like go through the steps and not have to like think a whole bunch. I want the routine things, not necessarily like new stuff to handle. So I'm looking at this. I have one client where I just have one little thing open because I was waiting on some, like a statement from them, and I got that back. I have like the whole report done and everything. I just need to finish moving revenue out of one account to another. So I need to look at that today. That should only take a couple minutes, and then I should be done with that client. There's this other really, really tiny one that I just do quarterly work on, but I still do month-end bank recs for them, so I just need to go through those. It's like 2 bank recs and I'm done, but I just need to do it. And then there's the big one that gives me a headache. And then there's this other newer one, which it doesn't give me a headache except for a few areas that are still like cleanup areas. And I don't have complete access to everything yet. So it's still like, there's a dark area of like, I don't know anything at all about it. Let's see. I see, Susan, you made a comment, and I'm trying to get back to my other screen so I can see it. Okay, so what is your favorite third-party app for importing transactions? I have a client with 3 years of backlog to be entered, 3 checking accounts, and 7 credit cards. So they're just credit card accounts? I would really say if you can go to the bank, get a, download like a .QBO file from the bank. I have a old article on QBOchat on how to, actually I have a video, don't I? .QBO. This is what I do. I'm like, I have all of this stuff somewhere. Let me just go find the link on the website. Copy link address. Okay. So I have this video on how to import a .QBO file into QuickBooks. It's old, so it looks a little different now, but the same theory works, right? So it's possible with that bank, I would go to that bank and be able to, you might be able to get that far back. Or at least a year or something, and just get the bank feeds and import those in. So then I would start, then sorting that by vendor name or whatever to like bulk add transactions in there. I haven't used them yet. There are a couple other systems out there, and you might want to do a search on apps.com. It's something about taking a PDF statement and switching it over to transactions. Auto entry does that too. So that is what I would say. See, and you only have bank statements. So look at so auto entry does that. There's also a specific app that whole app, I think, is just taking PDFs to .csvs or something. So do a search for that. I don't know what it is. I haven't used it before, but I did see the demo for auto entry on. So auto entry will take receipts, invoices, all of the different source documents, including bank statements, and will turn them into data or information that you can get in. I actually have a demo with them and a video with them that I haven't finished and edited and put together. So if you've seen my recent QBOchat interviews, my biggest hang-up is I've actually been transcribing all of those myself. So it's really easy to do in Camtasia, right? Really easy to do the transcription. They set up a really easy system for that to happen. And I can type fast and do it. It's just because my back and stuff has been hurting so bad, I can't really sit at the computer a long time. So me typing a lot, it's been an issue. So I haven't, I did that interview with them probably 2 weeks now. So it's ready. I just need to get it together and put it up. And there is another app out there, or another company out there called Rev, that will do the transcription, and it's supposed to be really cheap, but I want to test it out on a small one, not a big one. Does it make sense? I don't want to test it out on a 10-minute video. I'd rather test it out on a 2 or 3 minute video, because if I'm gonna have to redo it all, sometimes typing is easier. Do you guys get a theme that I have? It's once I get a system, then I'm just going to repeat that system, because I know once I get the system that works, I'm going to repeat it, because I don't have to use a whole bunch of brain power and, whatever. I know A plus B equals C. That's what I'm going to do, right? And so I just go through it. Now, when I'm doing the work and I get to the point that I'm using too much brain power and A plus B isn't equaling C anymore, and it's just the system isn't working, then it's time to redo the system and everything. But there are days for me when it's create a system, and then the rest of the time is just do the system. And gosh darn it, it better be in the place where I want it to be that day. Today, I want to do the system. Don't want to create the system. Mind. I just want to do it. I don't want to do any creating today. Well, creating that. I might write a blog post like that. I can handle, because it's just brain dumps for me. So, but is that bad? I feel like I've been talking a lot about, brain power and how much that makes a difference in the type of work you do. So I know people talk about charging hourly for things. Have you ever heard of the PETA factor on top of that, of the pain in the ass factor on top of it? It's if I'm going to have a headache at the end of the day from doing that work, it shouldn't just be how many hours it is. There needs to be a premium on that time, because you've exhausted my brain, and it's going to take me how many hours to recover from it, So it's that, I feel like the majority of our work should be just easy, straightforward, do the work. And then there's that creating stuff, that setting up the systems and having to research things and whatever. That's the thing. So thank you, Susan, for freeing up and finding a rhythm is good. Yes. So, and I do like, so with QBOchat, like, so you guys know there is a difference between how I do things. Like, so I do the bookkeeping work, but with QBOchat, I'm constantly now looking at, so every week I come up with a topic. So this is me creating, right? I come up with a topic, usually weeks in advance, sometimes not. So like next week, I don't have a topic yet. I need to come up with one still. And then I have to, whatever the topic is, I have to create questions that will generate conversation during this Twitter chat. Hour long, right? I'm trying to get people to talk for an hour. So that can be difficult at times. I'm getting someone messaging me on Facebook. That's a new one for me. But what was I saying? So yeah, so I'm creating those questions. And then also I'm like, during the Twitter chat, I'm on the fly, having conversations, trying to keep that going, you know, hosting it and doing it, all that sort of stuff. So that's like my, I guess in my mind, my creation, my new thing, you know, non-routine stuff every week. Even though it's somewhat of a routine, I still have to, okay, what are my questions? Do I need to do research on it? So like yesterday, because my topic was recent updates to QBO, I need to go back to the Intuit blog, see what all the updates are, figure out like, okay, how do I sort these into questions to have a conversation around them and still communicate and tell people what everything is. So it's a lot more work for my brain that way. So my Thursdays, I'm like almost trained. Like Thursdays from the beginning to the end of the day is QBOchat or Twitter chat. I need to stop calling it QBOchat because QBOchat itself is something so much bigger now because it's a website, it's this group, it's, you know, all of this stuff. So the Twitter chat, we're going to say that. But I've been doing that for 5 years, every Thursday, except for Thanksgiving and sometimes around Christmas. Yeah, I get my topics, I do all this and yeah, getting it all organized. And then I have a virtual assistant that does a lot of the social media behind it of like, can we get the newsletters together? Can we get the graphics? Can we do all this sort of stuff? So yeah, yesterday, she hadn't done the graphics yet. So yesterday is recent updates to QBO, right? So usually I just tweet and do everything under the QBOchat Twitter account. And yesterday I was like, I am going to be an overachiever. I'm going to do the QBOchat Twitter account for the questions. And I already have the answers because I've done the research. I know what the updates are. So I'm going to do that under my Cathy Iconis Twitter handle. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have 2 screens open. No big deal. I usually have a whole bunch of screens open. One more. Fine. So I do that. Then I start the chat and I go into my Dropbox folder and I'm like, there's no images for the questions. I'm like, okay, so I need to start a conversation in Twitter and I need to go really quickly and create these images, which is, I have a template. I just need to copy my questions I did and put them in there and save them and, you know, a whole bunch of clicks. So I do all of that. I get that into the folder. Mind you, at the same time, my husband had taken our dog to the vet because she had thrown up and had diarrhea and stuff. So then he calls me in the middle of this and is like, the vet wants to know if she's been sick anymore and da-da-da. I'm like, I got nothing. I don't know. I'm like, I'm trying to copy images, do this, whatever. I was at the height of multitasking yesterday. And then there was some question we were talking about, you know how the invoices now, when they go out in email, how like the whole email gives you that detail of the whole invoice. I was like, isn't there an option to make that smaller? And someone wrote back like, no, I don't think so. And blah, blah, blah. So it didn't give me the answer. And now that I've posed the question, I feel like I need to know. So I'm like, in the middle of all this, I'm like, okay, going into QBO, let me go to settings really quick. And there is an option under settings, you know, customer setting, company settings and sales. Then there's an area down there over email you can get a shorter email sent to clients or shorter detail. I don't know what it looks like, but there was that option to make that stuff. So I got a screenshot of that, shared it in the Twitter chat. Yes. And then when people have questions, I'm going over to the website and be like, okay, here's the article for that. Here's that information. Yeah. But I love that stuff. And that's my mind day. Like, Thursdays are my mind day. Like, it's all out. I'm ramping up for 3 o'clock Eastern for an hour of being like 200% on. And then the rest of the time, I just want my routine. I just don't want to. So, yeah. So, with that, I have to figure out which malpractice insurance that I want and I need to sign up for, because mine expires in like a week. I have 2 quotes and I'm like, I think I figured it out. I'm gonna have to look at it and really make a smart business decision versus just being like, whatever. So what sucks is both the quotes had the cyber coverage separate, and I was like, why are you doing that? Why can't it be together? Because I feel like it's now doubling down on me of how much. Invoicing could be so much better. Like, why does the email and embedded link show total due, but the amount over the pay now button is only the current invoice amount? Oh. I didn't necessarily know that, but that sucks. Yes, there's a couple rants in my head going here. So you guys know QBO is an awesome, amazing platform for accounting. I love it. Obviously, I've gone all in with QBO. I mean, my whole company is based around QBO stuff, right? But it is not meant to be everything for everyone. This is why we have apps, and it's open so that apps can plug into different areas, right? So that's like, this is why we have apps. It's a platform. Let's build out your platform for your business so we can do things. That being said, I don't think there's a great invoicing app out there. I just don't. There's several apps that'll help you with collections and stuff. The problem I have with those is that they like still treat things differently. Like, they're still not going with the entire workflow of stuff. So like, my example, which I think is probably one of the best apps out there to do anything with invoices, is Invoice Sherpa, where you send out your invoice through QBO and you have that link for QBO payments and stuff, right? So you can pay now through QBO payments and stuff. Well, on the Invoice Sherpa side, they have their own processing system that it goes through, and then it has to connect back into QBO and stuff. And it's just a different experience. So what bugs me out of this is that our clients' customers are seeing 2 different things. Like, they see an email from, like an Intuit branded, not branded, but, Intuit styled invoice for us. And then we have an Invoice Sherpa styled invoice, and they're different. Like, and maybe I haven't gotten into Invoice Sherpa enough, but I think an app needs to cover invoices. Like, if you are going to help with collections or something like that, you need to help make this a very consistent experience for customers from the beginning. Not after they don't pay. Like, that's just my opinion. And then, which brings up this other point that I was just thinking about the other day. I'm looking at the App Showdown people, so a whole bunch of the new apps that are out there and stuff. And, there's a lot of apps that are doing similar things in the space. And new ones keep on coming up, right? So if you have a whole bunch of competition in your realm of your app, you're not doing your app right. Like, I feel like you're still missing something then. Either you take over that market, you know, because your app is really covering what is needed, or you're just going to be like this app that's like, okay, well, this is the best fit for what I need right now. You know, there's not anything that has it, but this is the best fit. I'll deal with those negatives and I'll just handle it, you know? And that's how you get customers and stuff. And yeah, I feel like I keep on seeing more and more of people that are trying to like fit into spaces, not necessarily create new spaces. And I want to hear more like, yes, this is how this app is amazing and this is taking over the space. And definitely if you're an app like niche into something, because that gives you a great, my computer just went to sleep. That gives you, you know, a market, and you can really build something for that niche. And if you are missing something in your app for that niche, then you better get it there, because that you're in the niche. This is a guaranteed industry. You want to be at the top of that and take it over. You need to be, making sure you're covering everything. You can't just always be like, oh, we don't have that covered yet, or doing something, because you're the one that's supposed to be the authority on it and helping them. Anyway, that's my thing on apps. So, but yeah, there needs to be an invoicing app that helps with so many of the issues that we have in QBO. But also utilizes the QBO stuff. And I don't know how the API works, if it helps with the payment stuff, you know, because that's hard to kind of link up to. I know ChargeOver has set it up so that you can use payments, QB payments, as the payment processor in ChargeOver. So I'm like, there's got to be a way for these other apps to do it too. But then you think about it, it's like, how are these apps making money? Are they making money off the merchant service side of things? Because if you were setting someone up, there's a lot of money to be had in merchant services. And I think that can cloud judgment of people too. So, I mean, you're looking at building your business. If your business is an app, and like, okay, where's my revenue going to come from? Then, you know, if it's merchant services, then I basically have to get away from payments and into it. So you would think then, why don't you just take invoicing away from the workflow for people in QBO? You know, like make sure invoicing works in that app so that you can cover the merchant. So you can actually capture all of the merchant service. My theory on how people set up businesses. Who knows? So, yeah, invoicing can be better. I mean, if you're very simple, straightforward business, invoicing's fine. But yeah, once you have any of the nuances, like Susan said, that, the total due and the amount pay now, and, you know, past due and stuff. And if those links aren't the same or the amounts aren't the same, it's just weird. So, my opinion. I've turned into that person. It's my opinion. I hate those on Twitter. Like, everything I say is is not associated with da-da-da. Well, I'll tell you, everything I say is associated with QBOchat, and I kind of screw. That's my company. Anyway. But, yeah, I'm not associated with Intuit at all. Just a groupie. So. Oh, hi, Stephanie. Good morning. How's it going? I've been on here for a while. I'm fading. I'm also sweating. TMI. But, yes, fun things to do. Anyone have any fun plans this weekend? Because we're going to be watching the weather, I think. My husband's a weather geek, and he loves it. He is definitely worried about people on the coast. We're in Atlanta. We might get some like storms and stuff over here because of the size of the hurricane, but and you know, they're very like some of the models are coming a little bit at us. but far more impacting on the coast and stuff. So yeah, the weather's gonna be on all weekend. And to top it off, my 4th grader, she has a science project due next Wednesday where she has to do a forecast. And she's so adorable about this. Like, she picked Wilmington, North Carolina, because she knew that's where the hurricane was going to hit. So she, this morning she's watching the news. She asked me to write down on her hand what it said, like what the current wind speed was, and then the wind gusts were. So she has that on her hand in green Sharpie today, so she could go update her project at school. I'm like, they're going to be geeking out all weekend about this hurricane. And I love it. At the same time, I know it's going to take a lot of energy. So, but she's so adorable. And then, okay, to be fair, the geeking out will probably be two-sided, because then she's like, so I picked mine to do my weather report in PowerPoint. And I haven't really used PowerPoint that much before. And I'm like, really? I have. I've been doing my presentations in PowerPoint. Let me show you a few things this weekend. And I'm like, ooh, if we can do slide transitions to make it look like a hurricane, oh, that would be cool. This is what happens when you have two like geeky, mathy parents. It just happens. So it's adorable. I love it. And then we're going to have softball if it doesn't get rained out. So, yippee. So, how long have I been on here? I feel like a while. Oh, 41 minutes. Really, guys? I'm going to have to start putting time limits on this. But this is going pretty well, right? I've tried this out a few times. Second time in the group, in the Facebook group. Which I like the interaction here a lot better than when I was trying to just post it on the Facebook page. But yeah, I'm going to have to limit it to 30 minutes, I think. But at the same time, I don't want to commit to mornings yet, because mornings are really hard for me. So I kind of just wanted it to be like, I'm doing it right now. So just going to do that for a little bit longer until I can actually commit, because I understand commitment. I've been doing QBOchat, or the Twitter chat, for 5 years on Thursdays. Now, the first half a year or something like that, it was in the evenings, but then we moved it to 3 o'clock Eastern. I mean, I'm committed. I don't want to be sometimes, but I'm committed. It's like my body is conditioned to 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm there for you. So, okay. Well, I'm going to sign off because it's been a long time. And I need to go sit up regular. I've been leaning over. I don't know. Thank you for liking this. Even if I can just be like some form of entertainment on one screen while you're doing work. That's better than nothing, right? So I will see you guys later. Sometime next week, I'll show up. So just keep an eye out on your Facebook notifications. You'll know when I go live. See ya.